Everyone remembers the 72-day marriage, but what most people forget is how fast, strange, and quietly doomed the relationship between Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries really was from the very beginning. This wasn't just a whirlwind romance that burned out. It was a collision between two completely different worlds, values and expectations that never actually aligned, even before the wedding dress was picked out. Kim met Kris Humphries in late 2010, introduced by mutual friends at a time when Kim's fame was already massive. She was coming off high-profile relationships, deeply embedded in the Kardashian brand machine, and living a life where cameras, contracts, and public perception were constant. Kris, on the other hand, was an NBA player who valued simplicity, privacy, and a much more traditional idea of marriage. From the jump, the attraction was real, but so was the disconnect. Kim was drawn to Kris's height, confidence, and blunt personality. He was different from the men she usually dated. Kris liked Kim, but seemed largely uninterested in the world she inhabited, often mocking the fame, the glam, and even her family's lifestyle. What initially felt like refreshing honesty quickly started reading as dismissive and condescending. Their relationship progressed at lightning speed. Within months, Kris proposed in May 2011 with a massive 20.5-carat diamond ring, an engagement that instantly became global news. The proposal itself was extravagant, filmed, and carefully staged, signaling that this relationship was never going to exist outside of the Kardashian ecosystem. While Kim appeared emotional and excited, cracks were already visible. On camera, Kris frequently criticized Kim's work ethic, her need for perfection, and her attachment to Los Angeles. He pushed hard for a future in Minnesota, where he played for the Timberwolves, while Kim was building an empire rooted in LA. These weren't minor disagreements. They were fundamental life choices neither seemed willing to bend on. As wedding planning began, tension escalated. Kris openly complained about Kim's spending, mocked her desire for luxury, and showed visible irritation with her family's involvement. He clashed especially with Khloe, and his sarcastic, sometimes abrasive humor didn't land well with viewers or the family itself. Kim, meanwhile, appeared increasingly anxious and conflicted. She expressed doubts on camera, admitting she felt pressure to move forward even though something didn't feel right. Those moments are especially haunting in hindsight because they show someone recognizing red flags but feeling trapped by expectations, contracts, and momentum. The wedding, held in August 2011, was a spectacle. A lavish, multi-million-dollar affair filmed as a television special, it was peak Kardashian extravagance. Everything about it screamed permanence and fairy tale, yet behind the scenes, the relationship was already unraveling. Kris reportedly resisted participating in wedding planning, argued with Kim constantly, and continued pushing for a lifestyle that didn't match hers. On their honeymoon, the disconnect became impossible to ignore. Their fights weren't about small things. They were about respect, communication, and compatibility. Kris made jokes at Kim's expense, dismissed her feelings, and seemed irritated by the attention surrounding her career, while Kim felt unsupported and misunderstood. Just 72 days after saying "I do," Kim filed for divorce. The announcement shocked the public, but not the people closest to them. The official reason given was irreconcilable differences, but the subtext was clear. They never should have gotten married in the first place. Kris felt blindsided and humiliated, claiming he was committed and willing to work through their issues. Kim, however, admitted she knew very early on that she had made a mistake. She later said she felt pressured by the wedding, the show, and the expectation to follow through once everything was already in motion. Calling off the wedding would have meant disappointing millions, breaking contracts, and admitting failure publicly, something she wasn't emotionally prepared to do at the time. The divorce process dragged on far longer than the marriage itself. Kris contested the divorce, seeking an annulment on the grounds of fraud, implying that the marriage was staged for television. This accusation fueled massive backlash against Kim, with many accusing her of orchestrating the entire relationship for ratings. Kim denied this repeatedly, maintaining that her feelings were real and that she genuinely believed marriage was the right next step, until it wasn't. Eventually, the divorce was finalized in 2013, ending one of the most scrutinized marriages in modern pop culture.